He was considering choosing chaos with his latest mock draft. Guys, it's been released. DJ Mock Draft 3.0. It's on NFL.com/DJ Mock. Peter, what are we looking at?
This is like opening a gift on Christmas morning.
I know.
Peter.
4 quarterbacks at the top with J.J. McCarthy via trade to the Vikings. Jets move up from 10 to 5 to get Marvin Harrison Jr. Woo! DJ chose chaos. Giants get the next wide receiver in Neighbors. Roma Dunze goes to the Bears. Caleb Williams and Roma Dunze in one draft
fantastic.
class. Wow. Going with DJ Moore and Keenan Allen. Fuaga to the Chargers, and we keep going. Verse to the Cardinals, who obviously would trade back with the Vikings in this case. Bowers to the Broncos. Penix 13? Penix 13 to the Raiders. DJ, you crazy man. Going through, we've got our first defensive back in Mitchell, going 15 there. Terry and Arnold. Loves Miss Terry down in Alabama. Mm-hmm. He's going 17. J.C. Latham, another Tide, going 18. Okay, what else we got here? All right. UCLA prospect Latu goes local to the Rams. Looking for other big names here. Wiggins to the Eagles, fast guy. Brian Thomas all the way down to 23. I thought he might go higher than that as the wide receiver out of LSU.
There's Amarius Mims. That guy can move.
Yes, he can. And then the other Byron Murphy. And one time the Cardinals took a corner named Byron Murphy. Now they're taking a defensive tackle out of Texas named Byron Murphy.
Ooh.
And then A.D. Mitchell to the Chiefs. Chop Robinson. And Cooper DeJean, of course,
Kool-Aid.
Iowa, and Kool-Aid. Lots to digest there, but I think we've got to focus on that top 10. Wow.
The yellow in there implies that this was done via trade.
Yep.
So those are something that pops immediately. We're going to get the take from all three guys right now. DJ Mock Draft 3.0, what do you think?
I look at the wide receiver, the duos and the rooms that are coming from this and the quarterbacks that are getting them. So you talked about the Jets moving up, getting Marvin Harrison Jr. You're now placing him with Garrett Wilson. You have Aaron Rodgers coming back from surgery. We talked about the weapons he had last year. He had Garrett Wilson, but it was like, who else was along with him? Now you're pairing Marvin Harrison Jr., who is going to be the first receiver off the board, to go be alongside him. 2 Ohio State wide receivers out there in the room for Aaron Rodgers to get a chance to get the ball to. The oldest quarterback in the league is getting a new set of wide receivers that are going to be hard to stop. But then you look at Caleb Williams, who possibly could be the first pick from the Chicago Bears. He's now getting his own pair of wide receivers, DJ Moore, who is already there, and now he's getting a chance to pair him with Rome Odunze. We talked about those guys at the Combine, and Caleb not going, but Odunze putting on one hell of a performance, having those 2 guys in the room and being able to get the ball out to them. Would this be one of the best situations a number 1 quarterback walks into with those 2 guys, adding DeAndre Swift in the backfield as well? This wasn't a team that earned the number 1 pick from the performance last year. It was via a trade a year ago with the Carolina Panthers that gives them Caleb Williams, but they also get their own pick, and Rome Odunze is such a pick there. And then lastly, the best quarterback in the NFL, Patrick Mahomes. We talked about his weapons a year ago. They drafted Rashee Rice, who became the number 1 receiver on that team. Then in free agency, they go out there and get Hollywood Brown, a speedster, and now they get A.D. Mitchell, the guy who ran the fastest 40 at the Combine, to pair with those 2 guys. Going to be unbelievable. I look at their wide receivers and the pairings that they have and the quarterbacks that are going to be throwing on the ball with DJ in his mock draft.
You can look at my face every morning and you can enjoy this beautiful mug. Get me that mock draft first.
Put it up.
10 picks up again. You don't want to see my face. Let's digest this again. Let's look at these top 10 picks here, because I'm looking at the teams.
Yes.
So the Vikings play the aggressor here, and they move up to 4, and they take J.J. McCarthy 4th. That means that each one of these top 4 teams took a quarterback. Fine. Jets, Giants, Bears go wide receiver. To me, there is a missing logo and a missing head coach in that top 10. And now let's go to the next line. Let's see the 11 through 20. I'm going to take you to the next team.
Now that's a tease. Who is it?
Because the team that I'm looking at, who apparently is just going to sit on their hands, the Broncos at 12 don't get a quarterback, and all these other teams maneuver around them. Remember, all those teams in free agency went and did something at quarterback. I mean, the Patriots went and got Jacoby Brissett. The Raiders went and got Gardner Minshew. Of course, we know that the Vikings went and got Darnold, and even the Washington Commanders did something, and they got Marcus Mariota. the Broncos do nothing in free agency, and then Sean Payton, the quarterback guru, is going to sit on his hands as Kwesi Adofo-Mensah and the Vikings move up ahead of everybody to go get J.J. McCarthy. If this is a warning or if this is a signal to the market, Sean Payton, George Payton, the Payton brothers, no relation, spelled differently, you best be ready to get moving. You don't want to miss out on this quarterback class. And if you're sitting at 12 and you're the franchise that's had all the names on that back of that quarterback jersey crossed off year after year after year, and it's Osweiler, and it's Brett Rippon, and it's Flacco, and it's on and on and on. Don't miss out on this draft class. Don't be the one sitting on your hands. I've told this story a million times on this show. I'll tell it one more time.
I love this story.
To our new audience. Sean Payton was set to take Patrick Mahomes with the 11th pick of that draft. He was all set on it. He even started telling Drew Brees this might happen. And Andy Reid jumped ahead of him and took Patrick Mahomes. They took Marshawn Lattimore. It all works out. But don't let that happen again.
Kyle, where does your eye go to on which screen and which number, which position, team, I don't care, what have you, with the 3.0?
Well, first of all, I'm so entertained at how titillated we all are by this. You guys, like, I love DJ and I love mock draft. You know this isn't real, right? Like this is an educated guess. Peter just gave a sermon to the Denver Broncos that they're missing out on quarterbacks, and you can't. And they might be like, yeah, we're going to move up to 3. This isn't the real answer key. I know it's exciting and we have to wait, but like they could all be wrong. And yet in the same breath that I say that, if you look up Daniel Jeremiah's mock draft from last year, he was on fire in the top 10 throughout the first draft. It's the closest you get to an answer key. So I'm as excited as the next person is. It's hilarious to watch. And I think by far, I think you look at the number 4 pick. I think the most interesting player in this draft is actually J.J. McCarthy. I think the most interesting move in this mock draft is the Vikings going to get him. And this is like, all right, so if you're a Vikings fan, if you're in the Twin Cities, are you looking at this screaming and cheering? Or are you saying, oh my God, no, that's way too much. That's crazy. I like him as much as the next guy, but number 4 overall pick. Also, a little context here. Never in the modern era of the NFL draft have quarterbacks gone 1, 2, 3, 4. It's never happened. You've seen 1, 2, 3 a handful of times. It's never gone 1, 2, 3, 4. My personal opinion, I don't think it will. I still think Harrison will sneak into the top 4. But listen to this. If the Vikings say we're going for McCarthy, just let the debate begin. And I'm on the side of, look, you love so much about him and so exciting, and we know what he's accomplished, but there's a lot of things that aren't his fault that just make me nervous. And if you're a Vikings fans this morning and DJ's mock draft matters and you think they might go get him, you're nervous. You're nervous that he played 3 years like Caleb Williams and threw almost 400 fewer passes. You're nervous that you see guys who have incredible rosters in college and it just doesn't work out for them. If you want to go to someone like A.J. McCarron, if you want to go more old school with Danny Werfel, they always had the better team in college. And that's unfair to J.J. McCarthy. All he does is say the right thing and win games. That's fine. But my God, number 4 overall pick. If you're drafting a guy at number 4, let alone moving up to get him at number 4, you want to just be absolutely wowed. Oh my God, this guy's incredible. No doubts. It would be a leap of faith. And how do you say that about a guy who just went undefeated in college? Believe me, you say it. McCarthy to the Vikings would really bring the house down. I think it's the most interesting player, the most interesting pick by one of the most interesting teams right now. I can't help it. It's the contagious excitement of mock drafts is real. I'm with you guys. I feel like this is the real thing. The draft just happened.
In J.J. McCarthy's defense, when people would ask that about him throwing less in college than some of these other star quarterbacks, it's like, what team am I ever going to go to that doesn't have balance, that doesn't have run game reliability? It's like, I played within a system for a now NFL head coach in Harbaugh that obviously worked well enough for him to compete and win a lot at that level. Kyle, to your point, I feel like I speak for a very specific population, being married to a man that went to Michigan and a Vikings fan, and this person is my husband and my partner. We got a lot of dinner table conversations going on, whether it be GMFB going to L.A., having a baby. Last night, it was J.J. McCarthy potentially going to the Minnesota Vikings. And it was kind of a welcome distraction at our dinner table. And I got to tell you, just speaking for one, pretty fired up about it. No concern whatsoever from our household.
I've got already texts from Jets fans who are like, wait, we're going to have Garrett Wilson and Marvin Harrison Jr. Like, okay, that works out. The Giants going with another wide receiver, that would be fun. If the Giants had Neighbors and the Jets had Harrison, they're one pick away, then tracking them throughout their careers and how that would go. Kyle nailed it up top, though. Like, Daniel Jeremiah last year not only got most of the first round right, Daniel Jeremiah had the Houston Texans taking Stroud at 2 and then trading up from the teens to move up to 3 and get Will Anderson, which is exactly what they did. DJ was the only person anywhere who had that and did that on the Monday of draft week. And you could say, well, hey, everyone can throw a dart at a board. DJ talks to everybody. I'm around him at the combine. Like, he's got not only a read on all these prospects, but also where these front offices are starting to grade these guys and how they look at him. If he's got J.J. McCarthy going 4th overall, I think there's a lot of heat that J.J. could go top 5. That's real. He wouldn't do that just to do it.
And for it to be the first time ever to go 1 through 4 in quarterbacks, that'd be really cool.